What's up, YouTube? It's another day. Nothing too exciting. Well, I mean, I guess. So obviously I told you I planned on making my other BMW my daily, and that's been kind of difficult. I've been working on it. I know I should have been filming, my bad, but I just had so much stuff on my plate between the build, school, and them messing up everything for me, and then work, trying to get everything set up. It's just been difficult, but I got an LS diff in it now. What else did I do? I painted the back wheels, changed out the tail lights, and then today, which I should have been filming yesterday, but today I'm going to get a new slave cylinder for it, because the one that's in there right now, it works, but it's not good. Like when me and Bryant tried to bleed it, like the little rod wouldn't even go in. But I don't know, that's where I'm going right now. I'm going to O'Reilly's to get this slave cylinder, and then after that I'm gonna go visit my dad real quick, and then I am returning here and putting that slave in, and also putting oil in it, because for some reason there was no oil, even though I haven't really been driving it. But we'll see what happens, so stay tuned. Alright guys, so stopped at O'Reilly's. This is weird, because like every slave I've ever gotten, it usually comes like this, right? So this one didn't have the push rod in it. I had to put it in myself, which is fine, I guess, but I've had so many slave cylinders. Like BMW made it so difficult with their slaves. Basically, you can't regularly like clutch bleed it, you know how you pump and all that. What you're supposed to do is, well, the way I do it, I'm sure there's other ways, but pop the slave out and then loosen the bleeder valve, push the rod all the way in, and tighten the bleeder valve, and then let it back out. And you gotta do that like 3-4 different times before you get everything good, no air and all that. And the reason why is because the bleed valve right here isn't at the highest point, which is stupid. So you got to take it out and literally angle it so it's at its highest point. I got the slave cylinder and the oil to do the oil change, well, to put oil in it. But yeah, I might be wrong here, but I could have swore, like, I remember doing oil changes with my dad a long time ago, and oil changes usually cost around like 20 bucks. I mean, I've done oil changes now and I know the prices jump, but god damn. But yeah, this is what I went with. I got the Mobil one, 0W40. I mean, obviously it's European car formula. I got 5 quart and an extra quart, and then here's the slave. So I just gotta do that. I guess just watch and we'll see what happens. Right now I got one of my buddies coming over. His name's Vinny. He wants to learn a little bit, and by all means, I'm not saying I am a master mechanic by any means. That's why I'm going to school for it. So I'm just going to teach him what I know. We're going to look at his car, because I guess the back end feels like it's swaying. I'm assuming it's a sway bar link, but we're going to jack it up and see what's going on. He's got an E46. If you don't know what that is, that's like 2000 to 2000 5, I want to say, BMW 3 Series anyway. So I guess let's get into the day. Also, I'm gonna paint those rims down there. I already painted these, like I told you. They didn't turn out amazing, but still better than what was on there before. If you've been following my channel for a while, I painted the back ones gold and the front ones were white Plasti Dip. And just to give a little heads up, I fucking hate Plasti Dip. It's a pain in the ass to get off. I mean, I guess if you do it right, it might turn out good, but I did it wrong apparently, and it just turned out like shit. So I do not recommend Plasti Dipping your wheels. Otherwise, you're gonna have a hell of a time getting them off. But let's get started. Alright guys, well, I figured I'd get on here to show you what the Slave looks like and all that good stuff. This is the Slave, you know, connected up and whatnot. Basically it's 2 bolts. I'm not sure if you can see, but we're gonna try. Right here, it goes in there, just like that. And you undo those 2 bolts, there's one on top and one on bottom. Pop that down, and then now I gotta take this off, which it's already loose. I just gotta pop it all the way off, and then put it on the new one. Then comes the fun part, the bleeding, which sucks if you're by yourself, but hopefully one of my buddies gets here by then, but we'll see. So yeah, I just figured I'd show you guys what I did. Literally it's 2 bolts and it's posted up on the transmission. So I guess let me switch it over and then I'll come back to film. Alright, I got my camera set up a little bit. I don't know if it's gonna fall over or whatnot, but I'm gonna show you guys how to bleed this. Basically, take your wrench that you are gonna open the bleeder with. And the reason why I say this is difficult is because my hands aren't wide enough. I got tiny hands, but get it set up like that so you can push it in, and then make sure your bleeder valve is all the way pointed up so there's a max of no air being able to get in. Open it up and then squeeze it, hold it, and tighten your bleeder back down, let it out. You got to do that a couple times to make sure there's no air in there. And then once there's no air in there, like you're getting constant streams, usually everybody says like 4 or 5 times, but I usually just keep going until I get a constant stream, kind of like what it is now, but I'm probably gonna do it a couple more times just to be safe. But once you get that done, you're ready to put it back in. And when you go to put it back in, there's a little like divot plate on the inside of the transmission. Make sure your rod goes up against that. You should feel your Slave trying to push out. When it's trying to push out, it's because it's pushing up against that divot. So if it just goes in and sets in there and you can't, like, you feel no resistance, then that means you're in wrong. And the second you hit that clutch, this whole bottom end is just gonna pop out, and then you're out of a Slave. So just make sure you do that. Make sure it has resistance. Make sure you line it up properly. Other than that, I mean, just bolt it back up, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's bolted up and everything. So, alright guys, that's what the Slave cylinder looks like inside it. Nothing too special. But now I just gotta start the car and pump it, which I'm gonna do later because I still gotta do the oil change and then put my front wheels back on after I finish painting them and whatnot. So I'm just gonna bleed it later, or not bleed it, but pump it later. So don't forget to do that, because otherwise you're gonna, it's kind of like brakes. I mean, if you don't pump your brakes after you start it, you're not gonna have any. So just remember to do that. Don't flip out if you know it ain't catching at first, but after a few pumps, like after, I don't know, probably like 10 to 20 pumps, if you're not feeling anything, then you probably missed the little plate that I was telling you about with the divot, and you probably blew your slave, or it could be your master, who knows. I guess if you have any questions, just let me know about it. Figured I'd show you if you don't know how to change oil. First thing to do, take out your drain plug. Mine was right there, so obviously I'm letting it all drain out, and after it's done, you come up here, and it's kind of dark, but this is where my oil filter is. I just unscrew this, pop this off, and put the new filter in. We'll take the old one out and then put the new one in, and then screw that back on, and then screw the drain plug back in, and then just fill it up. Obviously I'm going to show you that, but I figured I'd give you a heads up and let you know what I'm doing. Now, next part of the oil change is, like I said, right here there's this bolt. You just pull it out and pop this off, and right here's your oil filter. And if you look down in there, it's where oil comes up and filters out and whatnot. So all you gotta do is take this off and put the new one on, pop it back in, and close it up. So I'm gonna do that. Alright, so I got the old oil filter right here. Put the new one in. Just a reminder, that bolt has these little rings you should take off and replace them. They come with it. Just put the new ones on. It's not gonna hurt you. But now I gotta go to the bottom and close up this drain plug because it's done. Now I already put the drain plug back in. Now I just gotta fill it, and then should be good to go. So from what I read, some of these take 6 quarts, some of them take 7. So I just went ahead and got 6, and I'm gonna see what happens. If I need more, I'll just stop and get some. Like I said earlier too, fucking oil is getting expensive as shit. You remember that? Well, you used to be able to go get a fucking oil change. Well, I mean, if you did it yourself, it'd be like 20 bucks. And then now it's like, I paid like 50 bucks for all this shit.
Just the 6 quarts.
Yeah. Alright guys, it's a new day. I didn't finish everything last night, but all I gotta do is clear coat these rims, and those are done, and then I'm gonna take it off the jack stands, and pump the clutch like I said, and we should be good to go. I did a little bit of research, and not sure if you guys are gonna be able to see it, but I do have a ticking noise, and it's very common in E36s, but they say it could either be the Vanos, or there's like a little piece underneath here that clicks. But I think it's because I put these headers on and I think they kind of wiggle loose, so I think that's where my clicking's coming from. Basically I'm gonna go through and try to tighten it back down, see if it goes away. So you'll see me do that. But for now, let's I got too much shit in here. Let's get started on this. I'm gonna show you guys how this is how I spray paint, clear coat, all that. I'm gonna show you guys my way of doing it. So me, I don't hold it and just, you know, I do little even layers, so it's like this. Alright, so now that the wheels are dry, let's go ahead and put them on. If you can't hear her, that's my niece and my cousin. Bikes.
I will take this too.
What are you saying? I was talking to the camera. Yeah. Saying if you can't hear it, that's my niece and my cousin.
Which one? Is that it?
Alright, now I just gotta do the other side and crank them down. And then I'm gonna lower it down and pump the clutch. First startup. Wish me luck. Now I need to test it and see if it overheats. Because if that's the case, that's gonna fucking suck. But yeah, let's put everything back inside and go for a test drive. Alright, so before even taking it out, there is one thing I've noticed. That tick didn't go away. I'm really praying and hoping it's not a lifter tick. It's coming from over by the manifold. Pretty sure you guys can hear it, but actually, you know what it might be? There's 2 bolts for the O2 sensors. I wonder if those are loose. Maybe I should try to fuck with them, because I haven't touched those either, so that might be it. I'm gonna try it, obviously, after it cools down. I'm not gonna burn my fucking self, but let's go for a test drive. The slave cylinder worked though. Slave cylinder fucking feels great now. So let's go for a ride, I guess. So far, so good. You can tell hasn't been overheating yet, and it's been running for probably like, I don't know, like 15, 20 minutes, something like that. But still not ruling it out. I mean, obviously, you know, it takes a minute, but the clutch still feels kind of iffy. I mean, it's working, and like I said, maybe it's just gotta take time to, you know, adjust itself and stuff like that. But so far, this thing's driving pretty good. I do want to upgrade the suspension and stuff like that, but that's later. Right now, first things first, I gotta get a windshield. That bitch is cracked. So I'm gonna continue driving this for a minute, and I'll let you guys know. So I just do not have good luck. I mean, it's nothing major, but still. So, sitting here driving this, right? See, everything, you know, it's fine. Yeah, all nice and pretty. And then, boom, this motherfucker fell out. Like, what the fuck? And this bitch is loose as fuck. So now I need to find more lights. That's just great. But on a lighter note, it's still there, but it's very faint. I'm gonna have to look that up, see if I can figure something out. Still pisses me off that that motherfucker just fell out. Like, are you kidding me? Alright, well, I think that's gonna be the end of this video. Yeah. Now I just gotta find lights and do the doors, and everything should be good, hopefully. I mean, it's kind of idle and weird, but it's not nothing too bad. Like, so I guess back to the intranets. So we'll see what happens. So until next time, and if you want to keep up on this build, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I guess I'll see you guys next time. Peace.